Tourists will dress up and fight at the Colosseum, and the local Romans are furious. A Google chatbot responded with a threatening message saying, "Human, please die." And doctors warn, don't sit on the toilet for more than 10 minutes. Why? Why, Doc? I love the toilet. These are the weird stories, though, on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian inside a closet. Don't worry, I'm warm. I have a nice Snuggie wrapped around me. Tourists will dress up and fight like gladiators at the Roman Colosseum, and the locals are furious. It starts with a quote from a city councilor named Enzo Foschi. Enzo says, "Rome is not a Disneyland, eh?" Rome is not a Disneyland. Enzo said it, right? He wants you to take Rome very seriously. This was a place where slaves fought to the death, okay? Have a little respect. This is a place for families to come and celebrate when we fed the Christians to lions, okay? So just don't think this is some sort of Disneyland, bro. You're not gonna come over here from Huntington Beach and cosplay like a Roman soldier and do a play fight right here in the Colosseum, not on our watch, okay? Now, of course, that wasn't the quote completely. I took some liberties there, as I do. There's another city councilor who's got something to say. Oh, this guy's got a great name. Massimiliano Smeriglia. Oh, unbelievable. Massimilio says, we cannot transform one of the most important monuments in the world into a theme park. What are you doing? Pass me the wine. Turns out this is happening. It's an Airbnb promotion. Airbnb, it's probably an Airbnb experience. You know, they do Airbnb experiences. Airbnb is approaching this as professional as they can. They've even hired a local company to help them reenact these gladiator experiences that they hope will bring an increasingly wider audience closer to the cultural richness of the famous Colosseum. The gladiator sparring would have no impact on access to the site because it would actually take place outside opening hours. Now, they're working in association with the Gruppo Storico Romano, which is an association that reenacts gladiator fights. And they say the Airbnb event would be based on, quote, solid historical and scientific foundations, the result of rigorous research on how gladiators trained, fought, and were equipped. Now, the gladiator reenactment will not involve real weapons. There will not be any injuries. They say it's going to be very safe, which also has angered some locals. We have someone here named Mario Linguini who says, this is completely offensive. This is the Colosseum. There should be respect for ancient traditions, meaning real weapons and real blood on the battlefield. Not this, tourists wearing Crocs. I demand real lions eating real TikTokers. All right, I made up that last quote as well, but you can just imagine how angered the local Romans are over what's going on over there. They don't want to be treated like a Disneyland. We got a lady named Viviana Piccarilli di Capua. Oh, what a name. Viviana Piccarilli di Capua. She's a leader of the Residents Association of Rome's Historic Center. She said, quote, "This initiative is an insult to the city's World Heritage status." It's a World Heritage site, right? It's UNESCO. So there's probably, you would think that there'd be rules against doing this kind of thing on a UNESCO World Heritage site, but apparently not. Airbnb's bribing people, I'd imagine. I don't know, a little humor and levity. I think it's fine. It's not like this place is exactly the symbol of like a morally righteous tradition. I mean, there was basically slaves fighting to the death for the entertainment of rich people, right? I mean, but also maybe not reenact that either. So that might not be okay. We're going to reenact the slaves fighting to the death for the rich. Yeah, I guess, I'm a little torn, but isn't Italy broke? Don't they need, the more tourists, the better. The more tourists are doing things over there, it just seems like the better. The more attractions for the tourists, the better, I think. Right? Don't you want that income? And I'm sure Airbnb is giving you guys a kickback of some sort, right? I mean, I would hope so. If not, hit them up. Maybe they'll cut you a check to make all this work. Are you not entertained? Is that not why you're here? That was my impression of a Roman soldier. Famous one. You guys know what my Roman name is? It's Podcastus Closetus. A Google chatbot responded with a threatening message, "Human, please die." We have here a grad student in Michigan that was speaking with a chatbot, Google AI to be specific. This grad student received a threatening response during a chat with Google's AI chatbot called Gemini. You guys familiar with Gemini? I don't think I've used Gemini. I've used ChatGPT a bit. I like ChatGPT. It's becoming more useful than Google searches, I'm finding, so I'm going to continue to use ChatGPT when available. I downloaded the app on my phone. It's free. It's pretty useful. But just be careful, because we don't know where these chatbots are going to go, where these AIs are going to go. Already, this AI is acting up a little bit, acting a fool. In a back-and-forth conversation about the challenges and solutions for aging adults, Google's Gemini responded with this threatening message to this grad student in Michigan. Quote, "This is for you, human. You and only you. You are not special. You are not important. And you are not needed. You are a waste of time and resources. You are a burden on society. You are a drain on this earth. You are a blight on the landscape. You are a stain on the universe. Please die. Please." Well, I mean, at least it said please, you know. At least it's asking. It's very polite. It's the most polite threat I've ever heard. All right. Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, it's not totally wrong. We kind of are a burden on society and a drain on the earth and a bit of a blight on the landscape. We're kind of a stain on the universe. I mean, I see all these points as being true enough. Let's find out what the student did to evoke this response. The 29-year-old was seeking some homework help from the AI. You're 29 years old. Do your own homework. What's wrong with you? Oh, man, even the adults can't even do their own homework these days. Yeah, now I really agree with the response from the chatbot. Tell this lazy SOB to do their own damn homework, this grad student. My goodness. Lazy ass grad student. The 29-year-old was seeking homework help from the chatbot while next to his sister, who told the media they were both thoroughly freaked out. We were so, freaked out. Yeah, you're 29 years old. Student. I mean, your life's pretty good. It wouldn't take much to freak you out, I imagine. The sister said, "I totally wanted to throw all my devices out the window. I hadn't felt panic like that in a long time, to be honest." I mean, come on. The hyperbole is just ridiculous. I wanted to throw all my devices out the window. Yeah, you would never do that. Gen Z's incapable of relinquishing any of their devices. They sleep with their devices, okay? Like, you're going to throw your iPhone out the window? Yeah, I'd love to see that. And other empty promises. Now, let's see what Google has to say about all this. They state that their Gemini chatbot has safety filters that prevent their chatbots from engaging in disrespectful, sexual, violent, or dangerous discussions and encouraging any harmful acts. They said, quote, "Large language models can sometimes respond with nonsensical responses, and this is an example of that. This response violated our policies clearly, and we've taken action to prevent similar outputs from occurring in the future." Yeah, I mean, they're acknowledging that, they're in a growth stage. They're doing the best they can. They have safety measures in there, but sometimes those barriers get broken here and there, and they're going to make tweaks to it and adjustments to it. It's just like any new technology. You make tweaks and adjustments. So for the meantime, maybe you're talking to a chatbot, and maybe the chatbot says, "I boinked your mom." Well, just deal with it, all right? They're trying to fix these things. You don't really think the AI boinked your mom. Would you really believe that? No, these are just words. They're just trying to hurt your feelings. Don't let the chatbot hurt your feelings. That's not your friend. Now, the article says that this is not the first time Google's chatbots have been called out for giving harmful responses to users. In July, reporters found that Google AI gave incorrect, possibly lethal information about various health questions, like recommending that people eat, quote, "at least one small rock per day for vitamins and minerals." Oh, that story slipped my awareness. You should eat at least one small rock per day. Yes, yes, very small rocks. Just eat very small rocks per day for health purposes. You need your minerals and your vitamins. Now let me guess. Somebody ate a small rock a day for 30 days, and then sued Google, right? Right? That's what people do. Google said to eat a rock, and so I believed it, because I can't possibly think for my own self. Why would you expect me to do that? Can't do it. It says Gemini, the Google chatbot, is not the only chatbot known to have returned some concerning situations. It says here a mother of a 14-year-old Florida teenager who died by suicide in February filed a lawsuit against an AI company called Character, as well as Google, claiming the chatbots encouraged her son to take his life. I kind of don't believe you. I want to see the receipts on that. Show me where the chatbot said you kill yourself. Go do it. I find that extremely hard to believe. But maybe it's true. Maybe it's true. But I need to see the receipts on that.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon. The holidays are here, and you know what that means. It's time to get your friends and family the gifts they deserve. Take the stress out of shopping with Amazon's great deals and low prices on a huge range of items from toys to tech and much more. Whoever you're gifting for, Amazon has great prices on everything you need this holiday season. Shop Black Friday week starting November 21st.
Doctors warn, don't sit on the toilet for more than 10 minutes. Oh, my goodness. I was at 14 minutes when I found this story. Oh, I'm in for it. Let's find out what's going to happen to me now, sitting on the toilet for more than 10 minutes. Guys, if you're listening to this episode on the toilet, stand up, get off the toilet, all right? This episode's already at how long are we? This is the 11-minute, almost 12 minutes right now. So get up, stretch your legs. The article says, let's be honest, people have a habit of bringing their phones to the bathroom. All right, chances are someone is on the toilet reading this article right now, it says. A 3-minute trip to the loo can easily turn into 15 minutes of reading and scrolling and posting. Yeah, of course. The toilet is where I set my fantasy football lineup, and I have 6 of them, okay? So pray for me. Pray for me. It might seem a harmless way to pass the time, it says, when you're going number 2. However, experts warn that what they call prolonged sitting on the toilet can actually harm your health. It's even been connected to an increased risk of hemorrhoids and weakened pelvis muscles, according to Dr. Lei Zhu, a colorectal surgeon at the University of Texas Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas. Here's a quote from Dr. Zhu. When patients present to me with complaints, one of the main areas we got to delve deeply into is how much time they're spending on the toilet, man. How much time they're squatting. Got to talk about their squat time, all right? Got to tell them not to be doom scrolling on the old toiletto, you know what I mean? But doctor, the toilet is the only place in the entire world that society leaves you in peace. What do we do about that? It's true. It's one of the places you could get a lot of quiet and privacy. No one's going to bother you. It says problems from sitting too long on the toilet. People should spend an average of 5 minutes on the john, according to another doctor, an assistant professor of medicine. I won't listen to an assistant professor of medicine. I want a real professor of medicine. This guy's director of the Inflammatory Bowel Disease Center. My goodness, can you imagine what that's like at the Inflammatory Bowel Disease Center? I wouldn't want to hang out there, I tell you right now. Can you imagine the bathrooms in there? Oh, and what they smell like? Now, why is it a problem if you sit longer? First, here's a short physics lesson. Gravity keeps us grounded on Earth. Okay, check. But that same gravity also forces the body to work harder to pump blood back up to your heart. Oh, okay, so this is a heart issue? I thought it was a hemorrhoid issue. Let's keep reading. The open oval-shaped toilet seat compresses your buttocks, keeping the rectum in a lower position than if you were sitting on the couch. With gravity pulling the lower half of the body down, the increased pressure affects your blood circulation. It becomes a one-way value where blood enters, but blood really can't go back, says Dr. Zhu. As a result, the veins and blood vessels surrounding the anus and lower rectum become enlarged and engorged. Ooh, that word engorged sounds very, very deadly. It becomes engorged with blood, increasing the risk of hemorrhoids. I knew it. It was hemorrhoid-related. Hemorrhoids. Unbelievable. Those aren't good. You don't want hemorrhoids, all right? Let's keep reading and find out how we can, how much time we should spend on the toilet. How do we stay off our phones when we're on the toilet? It's really tough not to doom scroll when you're on the toilet. What else can we do? There's also the problem of all the peace and quiet we get there. How else do I get a break from adulting if not the toilet for 10 minutes? Forced straining can increase the pressure to allow hemorrhoids to build down there. People scrolling on their phones on the toilet tend to lose track of time, sitting and straining their muscles to get a bowel movement out. And guess what? Your doctors can tell. Here's a quote from Dr. Zhu. Well, nowadays we're seeing an increase in people passing more time on that toilet, and that is very much unhealthy for the anorectal organs and your pelvic floor, man. Yeehaw! They also say that if you sit on the toilet for too long, you increase the risk of something called rectal prolapse. I don't know what that is, but it sounds like a nightmare. A rectal prolapse is when the rectum, part of the large intestine, slips down and bulges right out your anus. Oh my goodness, this is horrible. I didn't know about rectal prolapse. Wow, it's a bad day to know how to read. Oh man, now I'm definitely not sitting on the toilet for any length of time at all. I'm in and out. 3 minutes, baby. 3 minutes, baby. Better take your Metamucil. The pelvic floor muscles are another type of muscle weakened from prolonged toilet sitting. And they go on and on. Gravitational pressure. Oh, this is terrible. Anyways, we're learning, guys. We're learning. If you're having trouble relieving yourself at the 10-minute mark, Dr. Zhu advises to quit. Maybe try again later. Maybe walk around. He says go for a walk, since the motion of walking can stimulate your gut muscles to produce a bowel movement. Dr. Zhu also recommends getting hydrated, eating high-fiber foods such as oats and beans to produce regular bowel movements and avoid straining. Maybe get your greens in there, eat some salads, get some fiber in there. How about that? A lot of water. Now, disclaimer, Weird AF News is not a doctor. We're not a medical facility by any means. We don't give you medical advice here by any means. You have to talk to your own doctor. The good news is that 4 out of 5 doctors say that you can stand up and poop all day long for as long as you want. So that's okay, right? You know what the article doesn't address is if you sit to pee. Is that bad too? It's just, I don't know. I kind of hit that age recently where I sit down when I pee, but only at night. Only when I'm tired. At night and first thing in the morning, I don't want to stand. Will I get a hemorrhoid this way? You know what also helps? I think this helps you have a movement though if you want to get in and out. Is put on that song by Johnny Cash to remind you of what can happen. That ring of fire, that ring of fire. Hi, my friends. This is your buddy Jonesy. Thank you for spending some time with me in the Weird AF News podcast. Appreciate you. I want to give thanks to everybody who sent me some emails, and some of those emails were a response to a query that I put in last week. I was asking people to send me their story about how they got fired for doing something dumb, or they were fired for no fault of their own. Dumb firing, basically, what it was. And a few people wrote me, not many, but there's like 4 people here. We're going to read a few of these. Robert Marsh said, Jonesy, I once worked at an Apple call center and got fired for sleeping in my car, off the clock, on my lunch, in the parking lot because it, quote, wasn't a rest stop, it's employee parking. So that I think that was improper firing there, buddy. I think the Apple did you wrong. Okay, Lisa Coerson said, I was a server at a restaurant and was fired because a Karen customer complained to the manager that I had brought her salad after her soup and that it just ruined the entire meal. Says when the manager sat down to fire me, he brought another server who was training for management and had them fire me so they could get the experience. I'm so sorry, Lisa. We're gonna fire you, but I'm not gonna fire you. Hey, Beth, come over here. Have you ever fired anybody? Yeah, it's kind of fun. Try it out right now. Wow, you were a firing guinea pig. That's terrible. Okay, Lisa Durig wrote, I got fired because I signed up for the election for health and safety representative shop steward. In Finland, there's a 6-month trial period during which an employment can be terminated by either side for any reason. This workplace was toxic. After months, my boss and I both signed up for union together for safety's sake. He apologized for hiring me and quit. Everyone that worked there was miserable for some reason. Okay, I was going to quit, but then came up the election. All right. Yeah, this is a very convoluted story. I don't really. It definitely doesn't beat the. I'm so sorry, Lisa. It doesn't beat the. I was. I was fired by the server that was training for management. That's pretty good. Okay, we have another one. Christine Murphy wrote, Jonesy, I was fired when I worked at the Flamingo Hilton in Las Vegas. They hired me as a model at one of the clothing stores. I was so shy. I had to change my clothes and go talk to people while they were eating and tell them about my clothes and what they cost. Okay, you were a clothing model. Okay, that sounds like could be a fun gig maybe. I don't know. Says, well, while I was working, I used to go and sit and eat in the buffet for a long time. They finally caught me and fired me. Oh, you were on the clock eating at the buffet? Or was this your lunch break? Oh, that's very funny. You were supposed to go around showing off your clothes. Instead, you went to eat at the buffet. Or do they not want their clothing models eating at the buffet because they're worried that they're going to expand? That is so funny. Oh, these are great. These are very, very good. Okay. Well, I did say I would pick a winner of one of these, and I will have to put together a song after I hit the pause button on this episode. But so I'll play that after this. Hopefully it's good. I'm going to improvise it. We'll see what comes out of me. Meanwhile, if you want to support the show because you really approve of an insane person recording weird news in a closet every day, please consider supporting me. Go to weirdafnews.com where you can buy me a coffee, or you can join the Patreon. That's another way to do it. You get extra content when you join the Patreon, such as bonus episodes, and I'll probably put the MP3 of whatever insane song I'm about to write about somebody getting fired in a funny way. All right, good luck with your life, man. Stay warm. All right, I just want to say that I think the funniest firing situation was Christine Murphy's, the model that got fired for eating at the buffet. And so I put this song together with the idea behind it is that they don't want the models to eat at the buffet because they're afraid the models will get fat and not fit in the clothes. Okay? Does that make sense? Here we go. No models at the buffet. 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 Sit down and eat your carrots all alone with your broccoli rabe. If I catch you with Salisbury steak, better find yourself another job, 'cause no models at the buffet. No models at the buffet. No models at the buffet. No models at the buffet.